You ever get caught checking out a girl with your girlfriend, not because she sees you, but because you elbow her, thinking she's one of your buddies? That's a... The other day, my girlfriend and I in the park, I'm like, hey, check out this ugly bitch over here. I've been going to the dentist a lot. I didn't go to the dentist for like 10 years. Don't skip years. I thought you could just skip over those years, but... They make you make up for the time you missed. I hate the dentist. I love my dentist personally. Like, he's a good guy. We're friends. I love him. But dentists are the doctor I trust the least. I think they're just making shit up. Like, cavities, I feel like those are completely made up by the dental industry. Nobody's on board with this, but... My dentist's like, you have a cavity. And I was like, do I? It doesn't hurt. And he's like, cavities don't always hurt. And I was like, I don't see anything. And he's like, you can't really see cavities. I was like, this is awfully convenient for you, isn't it? It doesn't hurt and I can't see it, but you need to fix it? That's a little suspicious, if you ask me. He's like, you can ignore it, but it'll turn into a root canal. And I was like, now I feel like you're threatening me. I think you're making shit up and you're threatening me with it. And I was like, whatever, fill it, I guess. He filled the cavity. I think he filled it. I have no idea. They numb your mouth. You can't feel what they're doing, and you can't see what they're doing. So he might have been crocheting. I have no idea what this guy did. But he charged me $500, which seemed high, you know? And then I went back 6 months later. You gotta go every 6 months. And this time I needed a root canal. Different tooth. Wasn't even hurting. He's like, you need a root canal. And I was like, which tooth? He's like, whichever one you want. Just pick a tooth. I just want to make some extra cash for the holidays. I was like, are you sure I need a root canal? He's like, oh yeah. He showed me the x-ray. Doctors love to show you the x-ray as though you've read an x-ray at any point in your entire life. He tossed it up there. He's like, take a look. I'm like, I don't know what that is. I read books and tweets almost exclusively. And he's like, see how it's all white right here? And I'm like, well, it's a black and white photo, so the whole goddamn photo is white. I was like, I can't afford a root canal. I was like, what are those, like $3,000? He goes, they're not $3,000. He said like I was an idiot. He's like, they're not $3,000. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not a dentist, and you don't have a menu with prices on it, okay? I was like, how much do they cost? He said $1,800, which is a little frustrating, because I feel like I was in the ballpark. It's not like I said 75,000. I was pretty close. Then he did the root canal, which was fine. And then afterwards, he's like, now you need a crown. And I was like, how much does the crown cost? And with a straight face, he said $1,200. I swear to God, that's not even a joke at all. I was like, what? I'm sorry, that sounds an awful lot like $3,000. You could have at least given me the satisfaction of nailing it. I should get both prizes for getting the... I have horrible anxiety. I'm nervous right now. I have panic disorder, panic attacks. I don't know if you guys have ever had one of those. They're pretty brutal. Oh, someone tried clapping. Appreciate it. I usually boo panic attacks. If you've never had a panic attack, it's almost like you're being attacked by panic. That's how I would sort of describe it. I'm not a doctor, but... If you've never had one, you might not sympathize. It's hard to get sympathy from people that haven't had one. I was talking to my best friend. He's like, panic attack, what's that? You feel like you're gonna die? Is that it? Yep. That's it. I just feel like I'm going to die. I don't know if you know this, but feeling like you're gonna die is very similar to dying, except at the end, instead of dead, you're sad and embarrassed. It's actually worse. He's like, yeah, but it can't do any permanent damage, can it? I'm like, no, but crying in the fetal position on a first date can screw you up for a few years. So, sort of a sliding scale, I guess. I had to go to a therapist because I kept having panic attacks. The therapist told me a panic attack is fight or flight phenomenon. I don't know if you know that term. That's when your brain prepares your body to fight or flee from whatever it's afraid of. She said it happens in nature. I'm like, that's cool. The only weird thing is I get panic attacks when I'm talking to girls, so that's sort of a weird situation. I'll be at a bar after the show, and some girl's like, you're really funny tonight. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to fight this bitch. I can't run away. That would be embarrassing. I'm like, put them up, young lady. I don't appreciate this. I'm trying to relax more. It's hard. I started doing yoga. Yoga helps my anxiety. Yoga helps my anxiety after I'm done with it. After yoga, I feel good. During yoga, that's the most anxiety that I've ever had in my entire life. If you're not familiar with yoga, it's usually me, 2 gay guys, and 25 of the hottest women that I've ever seen in my entire life. I can't be publicly horny, homophobic, and relaxed all at the same time. That's a lot of work, you know? The instructor's like, everyone put your legs over your heads. I'm like, oh my God, I was just gonna say that. That is a great idea. Let's get those legs up, ladies. Oh, me too. Oh, I'm sorry, I was gonna watch this one. And she's like, everyone lay down on your tummy. I'm like, I can't. I have the largest erection of my entire life. I'm going to teeter-totter from shoulder to shoulder if I'm laying on my tummy. I also have a small namaste in my shorts here. Thank you. Namaste is a yoga term. Namaste is a semen joke I wrote in one letter. A lot of debate right now about whether or not we should recline. You have to ask permission to recline. I don't really care. I hate everybody on the plane no matter what they do, you know? This is my thing I hate the most on the plane. People want to talk to you on an airplane. I was on a plane the other day, and the guy next to me was like, what do you do? And I was like, I mind my own business on airplanes. That's the main thing I do. You should try that. It's a great way to pass the time. First of all, you're sitting too close together to have a conversation. The guy's trying to make eye contact. We're just staring at each other from this distance. I'm like, I could kiss you without using a neck muscle. That's how close you are. I love my wife. I love her family. She has a sister. We're buddies. I was hanging out with my wife's sister the other day. And you ever send a text message too quick and you miss a letter or a word and it like changes the whole text? We've all had that. I had that happen recently. I was hanging out with my sister-in-law and my wife texted and she wrote, how's things going with my sister? And I wrote back, great. She's a lot of fun. I wish you were her. That's a bad text. I meant to write, I wish you were here, obviously. I felt bad. I had to call her. I was like, hey, I didn't mean to write that. I was distracted. I was trying to fuck your sister, but I got a little confused. But I wish you were here so we could all fool around a little, you know? Like in the movies. It's weird when you date or marry someone with a sibling, because siblings tend to look alike because they have the same parents, but you're not supposed to be attracted to the sibling because it's inappropriate. But they look alike. You gotta pretend they don't. You gotta be like, baby, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in the whole world. But this younger version of you is very off-putting to me. I would never be attracted to a slightly newer version of you. That's gross. I have a niece. She's a little baby. The other day I was at my sister's house. My niece is taking a nap down the hallway. We're all in the living room having fun. We're a fun family. I get up. I'm like, I'm gonna grab another drink. Does anybody need anything? My sister goes, hey, while you're up, could you check on the baby? And I was like, I don't even know what that means. She goes, you know what I mean? Just go down there, make sure she's still breathing and hasn't rolled out of bed. I was like, wait a minute, there's a chance that your baby is dead down the hallway? That's your parental system? Periodically dispatch a relative to see if the baby has passed away? I was like, one of you guys mind checking on the baby? Because I'm not sure how to come back here with possibly the worst news ever. I'm gonna have to walk back into a party with a fresh drink. Hey! Just checked on the baby. May want to sit down for this. It's pretty serious. If you have kids, get a babysitter. Pay your babysitter. That's my advice. Pay your babysitter. My parents tried to save money by going with a free babysitter, which is sort of a weird place to save money. Child care. My mother had her kid brother, my Uncle Dale, babysit me. Great guy, not sure if you know him. First of all, he was like 3 years older than me. Not a good age difference. You know. Good rule of thumb, you should be able to tell who the babysitter is by looking at the two people involved. My uncle showed me Nightmare on Elm Street. I was 7. I immediately pissed in my pants. I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. He's like, I'll pause it. I was like, please don't. Fast forward it. I hate this movie. I tried to dry the urine off my pants, but I used toilet paper, which doesn't work. It just disintegrates. It looks like somebody threw confetti at your wet groin. Then I came out of the bathroom. This is where it gets really fun. My uncle was a fun guy, just a fun person. He turned every light in the house off, so it was pitch black. Then he took an aerosol air freshener and a lighter, and he shot a fireball down the hallway. Classic babysitting gag. The old shoot fire at the child you're responsible for. Woo, it's fun. That first time, it's a little nerve-wracking when you first see it, you know. I'd act like it was fun because I was afraid of him. I was like, good one, Uncle Dale, you almost got me. You almost got me handicapped parking for the rest of my life by burning my 7-year-old face off. Luckily, I tried some of the urine off my pants. That was kind of a nice feature. My mother came home, she's like, why do you smell like urine and have a sunburn? I'm like, because your brother's a psychopath, that's why.